All right, y'all, time to rise and grind. Hey, y'all, I'm the Southern Ma'am, but all my friends call me Tasoma. Last time in the land of Terremydia, we built a basic starter base. Now we need to gather more resources, so we'll have the materials to build the home that we've always dreamed of. Our first priority is to gather resources. I'd like to dig a mineshaft so we'll have access to deeper parts of the underground where we can search for caves and mine ores. Instead of chopping trees all the time, I'd like to create a more automatically renewable fuel source so that we'll have plenty of fuel for smelting. We are off to an unexpectedly strong start in meeting our goals today because this wandering trader sells Dripstone. A Dripstone lava generator is exactly the kind of renewable fuel source that I'd like to have on our base. I'm a little short on emeralds. However, he is buying water buckets, so I'm going to use some of my very precious iron reserves to make water buckets and sell them in order to get enough dripstone. 4 pointed dripstone can be combined to make a dripstone block, and then if you hang a pointed dripstone from it, it can grow. So we need at least 5 pointed dripstone in order to make a renewable source of dripstone ourselves. I left my first 2 purchases at the base, so if I buy him out now, I'll have 10 total pointed dripstone, which I can convert into 2 blocks with 2 pointed dripstone and continue growing our own. Our ore reserves are dangerously low, so it's time to mine. But first, where are we going to mine to make sure that we're the most effective at finding the ores we need? The Minecraft Wiki has a great page with an ore distribution chart. If you look along the x-axis, that's actually the Y level in Minecraft. That's our height from the depths to the tops of the mountain peaks. The y-axis shows the number of ores found in every 100,000 blocks. So these peaks down low show us there is a high concentration of ores near bedrock, and then there are other peaks and valleys throughout the different heights until eventually it tapers off as we go farther up in our world. The pink line on this graph denotes all ores, and we're not interested in mining everything right now. I'm going to narrow it down to coal, copper, and iron. I'm leaving out the deep slate varieties because we don't have any enchanted tools yet. So now you can see additional lines on the graph for each type of ore. For just those 3 ores, it looks like Y3435 has the most concentration of all 3 ores put together. Iron ore is the green line on the graph. If we wanted to prioritize finding iron, we might even go a little bit lower. We would still have some overlap with the copper and coal, even if we go down into, say, Y20 or so. Eventually, we're going to want other ores as well, so I'm going to add redstone and lapis to our ore distribution graph and see how that changes things. We're still peaking with total ores around that Y equals 34 or 35. However, if we mine at that depth, we're not going to find much lapis or redstone. It's hard to see, but redstone is the graph at the very bottom there, and it really just has a little spike between like Y5 and 15. By examining this graph, I think that mining around Y12 will allow us to find all 5 of these ores, but also prioritize iron the most. I want to dig all of my structures into the hillside, and so the mineshaft is no exception. I've measured, and I think this location will be far enough over to not interfere with our base build. So let's get to digging. The plan is to make a 2-wide spiral staircase around a center column all the way down to Y12. It took me a while, but I think I finally have the pattern. For each level, I drop down 1 and dig out a 2x3 by 3 tall space. Then drop down, go to the back left corner, and do it all over again. And this should make the spiral staircase pattern over and over again all the way to the depths. Eventually, I'll probably expand the staircase into at least 3 wide, change all the blocks out to decorate it, But for now, we really just need to focus on function. So we're just going to dig it out, replace any missing blocks with cobblestone, and call it good. I've been hearing mob noises and flowing water for a little while now, so I expect that we're going to break out into a cave soon. Oh, there it is, right on cue. Okay, let's take a peek. Yep, big cave, lots of darkness, lots of mobs. All right, I'm going to keep digging this staircase. We should end up at that bottom level of the cave here in a little bit. So I'm going to keep making the staircase and filling it in as needed for safety until we get to the bottom. I finally made it down to the floor of this cave. However, we're not at Y12 yet. I really do want to be deeper to maximize our resource gathering. I'm going to mark this location with some wood planks just so I notice the difference, and that way I'll know to return to it at some point to do some caving here. Okay, let's double check our coordinates. Y12, we've made it. This is the depth that I wanted to reach in order to most effectively mine for ores, especially if we were just strip mining. However, as you can see, we've popped right out into a cave. Caving is more efficient than strip mining for mining ores, so of course we're going to do that first. But now we have access down to this level in case we do want to make a strip mine in the future. We will also extend this staircase down farther when we're ready to focus on diamond mining. Let's light up the place with a few torches, build a staircase down to the main level, and see what kind of treasures we can find in this cave system. Wait, what am I doing? I forgot I need an iron pick. Okay, good thing we have a staircase back home. Okay, that's better. Let's try this again. I'm starting to get a little turned around as this cave system is starting to branch in different directions. So of course, we need a compass to light our way home. It looks like my pockets are basically full, but I can see a little iron there in the wall. And of course, I'm greedy, so I'm going to grab those last few pieces and then I'm going to have to go back up to the surface. Okay, time's up. We have to go back home. So, wait. Oh, let's go. It's a geode. I didn't see it earlier. I'm taking some screenshots of these coordinates. I'm going to pillar up and grab just a couple shards, but we'll come back someday and turn it into an amethyst farm. It's good to be back home and see the sun rising on another day from inside our base. We had a very successful mining trip and our pockets are full. Let's drop them off so our copper golem can sort all of our goodies. While our copper golem gets to work, I want to check on our dripstone. I left 2 blocks growing here and it doesn't look like we have any growth yet. Let me check for stalagmites. No, but there's some holster creepers, so I guess I should probably repair that. I don't think I can reach it from here. No, I guess we'll have to go down and do it from inside the weight. Oh, no. Well, that was some excellent teamwork. One creeper distracted me and the other one blowing me up from behind. Oh, I hope it didn't damage too much. Oh, well, there's all my bits. Oh, but we got so lucky. It didn't hurt our dripstone. And it blew off the back of the base, but look, we got so lucky it did not damage our hoppers or our chests. That could have been bad. Phew, I guess I'll just fill in these holes and count my blessings that the damage was minimal. We have a lot of ores to smelt now that we're back from our mining trip, so we need some fuel. Rather than use all of our coal, I'm going to gather some more kelp. That has been my preferred fuel source since I'm living right next to the ocean. I just like to boat out here into the middle of the kelp forest and dive off into the water. Then I break the kelp, making sure not to break the very bottom piece so that it will regrow naturally over time. Then I jump back in the boat and do a little bit of rowing to gather all of the kelp pieces as they float to the surface. Kelp must first be dried in order to be used as a fuel source, so I'll use a little bit of coal to get the process started. 1 coal ore can smelt 8 items, or roughly 9 if you craft it into a coal block first, which can smelt 80 total. 9 dried kelp can be crafted into 1 dried kelp block. That one single block can be used to smelt 20 items. If we smelt the fresh kelp into 20 dried kelp, we can now make 2 dried kelp blocks with 2 extra ones left over. Both of those dried kelp blocks can be used for different purposes. One can be used to smelt 20 ores, while the other one can be used to start the process all over again and dry more kelp. This way, if you use about half of your kelp blocks to smelt ores and about half to re-smelt fresh kelp into dried, you can have a continually sustainable fuel source. This does mean that you need to continuously harvest kelp, either by hand or with an automatic farm. Now that we are growing dripstone, I'd like to build a lava farm instead, because buckets of lava are even more fuel efficient than dried kelp blocks. I have an idea to build a well that instead of being just a source of water, will also be a source of lava. Time to gather some resources and get to building. Our well is almost complete. We just need a few more decorative touches before we make it functional. Copper lanterns hanging from some copper chains will add a decorative touch as well as some much needed lighting to this area. Okay, moment of truth. Water in one side, lava in the other. Add the pointed dripstone below, and we should now have a working lava and water well. These will take a little while to fill, but we can already see the little splashes of lava and water dripping down into the cauldrons. I am very pleased with the way this build turned out. I think it's a simple yet beautiful structure that, more importantly, will serve an important function for our base as a source of renewable fuel. Behold, God is my salvation. I will trust and will not be afraid. For the Lord is my strength and song, and He has become my salvation. Therefore, with joy you will draw water out of the wells of salvation. We just finished building our well, and already some of our copper accents are starting to oxidize. Now, the second level, the exposed copper, is my favorite. However, it looks like some of our lanterns are already to the last stage, the oxidized stage. We can scrape that off with an axe, but it won't stay that way unless we wax the copper. It's a good thing we live in a cherry grove because there are plenty of naturally spawned bees' nests. We can place a campfire under the nest and the smoke will calm the bees so that we can shear the hive for wax. A copper grate on top of the campfire will still allow the smoke to go through, but will prevent us from accidentally walking on the flames. Then we simply apply the wax to any of our copper to maintain its current state of oxidation. Have you ever added items to a list after you did them just so you could check them off? This might not have been one of our original goals, but we're definitely going to add it to our goal list anyway. We have had such a productive episode. We dug a mineshaft all the way down to Y12, and there are still parts of the cave left to be explored. In addition, we were able to create this well with infinite sources for both water and lava. And don't forget our extra goal of setting up our local bees' nests for some natural wax and honey collection. I'm still having to travel all the way down to our original campsite just to harvest food. So I think in the next episode, we'll need to sort out our food situation here on the hilltop. Well, what did you think? I hope this video inspired you to grind away a little at a time at those tasks that, while mundane, are necessary for success. Good Lord willing, and the sun still shines, I'll see you again in the next video. Thank you kindly for watching, and bless your heart.